Stop sacrificing the rest of your life for your career. There's a better way to win in every area of life. This upcoming documentary reveals all. Watch closely.
There were 2 times when I remember feeling profoundly out of control of my own life. And the first is literally my earliest childhood memory. It's the sound of my mother screaming as another brick explodes through the kitchen window. There's broken glass and water all over the floor, fire erupting from the front porch of our house, red and blue flashing lights, screaming sirens, total chaos. At 4 years old, the house is literally on fire. And I turn around to see my mom on her knees on the floor, shielding my newborn sister Deb, while my younger brother Phil and my little sister Tammy are cowering behind me. I was in absolute terror. And not just because we were in danger. The terror came from the realization that no one was in control of the situation. Not my mom, not my dad, not anyone. No one is in control. What happened next is pretty traumatic, and it's not easy for me to talk about, but I'm doing it because the path that it put me on not only transformed my life, but the lives of more than 70,000 people from more than half the world's countries and from all walks of life. Some of these people were at absolute rock bottom, out of control and in pain in every area of their lives, all the way up to the highest achievers on the planet with an insatiable desire to take their lives even farther. The system I'm about to share with you today is unlike anything you've ever encountered before because there is nothing else like it. It's not just different by degree, it's different in kind than anything else out there. This system gets to the very root of almost every problem in life. Financial insecurity, health issues, depression and anxiety, toxic relationships, an unfulfilling career, unrealized potential. I mean, problems that almost everyone experiences at some level, at some point in their life, but very few know how to permanently solve. No matter where you are in your life right now, this system will give you command of yourself and of your own existence. That's literally what it was built for. It'll help you discover a deep sense of inner strength and give you a security inside yourself that you will never find out there in the world. This system is for anyone who's ready to take charge of their future and live on their own terms, and who cares enough about themselves to actually take action and do something about it. Now, if that's not you, then watching this video isn't going to help at all. But if that is you, I'm here to tell you that this system will permanently and profoundly change your life. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you a key that's going to allow you to gain clarity and to get in control of your life. Now, it's up to you whether you want to put that key in the lock and turn it, but you will be holding that key in your hands. I'm John Butcher. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and we grew up poor. There were times when we didn't have enough food in the house and we went to bed hungry. My early childhood was a mixed bag. There were good times and there were hard times. There were scary and chaotic times, but always unstable. From a very early age, I can remember doing my best just to create a little bit of stability for me and my siblings. I mean, when your mom has 6 babies in 7 years, she's taking care of the infant and the toddler. I mean, that's more than enough for a mom to handle. And it's up to the oldest to take care of the 3 in between. Well, that was my job. That was my life. Our dad was literally a starving artist. He was a painter, doing his best to support a big family. And he was a hard worker. He always had multiple jobs. He was a dishwasher at a restaurant, a clerk at a wallpaper store, and he worked as a janitor at night. When I was a teenager, he started a little business in the garage with a partner, working on nights and weekends. It started off really slowly at first. By the time I was a senior in high school, that little business was gaining traction. And as a result, the opportunities started flooding in. And coming from where I came from, there was no way that I was going to let them slip away. I didn't go to college, I went straight to work. Now, I didn't have any business experience, but I'd been a navigator my whole life since I was little. The leader, the protector, the decision maker. I mean, being in control was my defense mechanism because I never wanted to experience that childhood terror again. So I rolled up my sleeves and I took on the world. My dad and I started business after business together, and things just exploded. I became a millionaire at 27, and by the time I was in my early 30s, I was president or CEO of more than a dozen companies. That little business that my dad started in our garage became one of the best-loved American brands of all time, an iconic, multi-billion-dollar brand called Precious Moments. Well, I found that I could handle an immense workload, and I really leveraged that fact. I was working 12 to 16-hour days for years in a row, accomplishing huge goals and living the high life. Working hard and playing just as hard, burning the candle at both ends, driving my career, my businesses, my family, and my financial life forward. It was life in the fast lane. I was partying like a rock star, self-medicating with alcohol to handle the stress, too busy to notice the danger signs. And eventually, it all became too much, and it just all came crashing down. After years and years of holding everything up for everyone, I simply collapsed under the weight of my own life. I had a series of debilitating panic attacks. Now, if you've never had one of those, it's difficult to convey how terrifying they are, especially the first one when you have no idea what's going on. I mean, you just lose control of your faculties. You can't see properly, you can't hear properly, you can't think, you can't talk. I had no idea what was happening to me. It was absolutely terrifying. And it wasn't long before I sunk into what's called a generalized anxiety disorder. I mean, imagine the peak terror of a panic attack and then stretched out all day, every day, for months in a row. I mean, it's worse than a nightmare because you don't wake up from it. It was so bad that I ended up housebound for 2 months. I mean, literally, I couldn't drive out of my driveway without being in a complete state of panic. Couldn't go to a restaurant, couldn't go to a grocery store, couldn't talk to my friends. My worst childhood nightmare had come true. My earliest childhood fear had manifested again. I had lost control of myself and my life. Well, I called my family, I called the people that run my companies, and I told them, look, I can't even pretend to work right now. You're on your own until further notice. No replacement strategy, no transition. I'm just done. I'm looking over the edge of a very, very scary cliff right now, and I just need some time to recover. I need some time to sort things out and think things through and pull my life back together. And I remember thinking to myself, what the hell am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do? I mean, my self-esteem was gone. My self-concept had been completely destroyed. I mean, who am I? 3 months ago, I knew who I was. I was a highly successful business executive. Now who am I? And where do I go from here? I had to rebuild my life from the ground up. I had to start over. And it wasn't gonna be easy because I was at rock bottom. But I did have one huge thing going for me. I was not going to live like this. I refused to accept that this was going to be my story, that pain and suffering were my natural state. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, but I was absolutely committed to finding the answer. And then something happened that changed my life forever. My dad was watching late night infomercials on TV one night, and he ordered me 2 personal development programs because he thought they might help me. The first one was called Attacking Anxiety by Lucinda Bassett. And that program helped me understand what was happening to me and how to handle it. The second one was a Tony Robbins program. And that was my very first encounter with personal development. Well, I listened to those 2 audio programs intently. I took some notes. I applied what I learned, and I actually started to get a foothold. I mean, after just a few short weeks, I was making some progress. And I thought to myself, wow, this stuff really works. I'm moving in the right direction. So I dove in head first, and I started consuming every personal development program I could get my hands on. Miraculously, over time, I pulled myself out of the intense pain that I was in. And then I just kept going. Little by little, I started to regain a sense of control over my life, and I got somewhat functional again. Now, I wasn't quite there yet. I still had some big limitations, but I wasn't completely shut down anymore. That was real progress. I mean, I was seeing real change in real time, and I didn't want to stop. I remember thinking to myself back then, how far could I take this if I just keep going? I mean, what could my life look like if I continued to learn and grow at this pace, even after I solved my main problem? Is it possible to create an extraordinary life that works at a high level in every important area? Is it possible for me to find success and happiness and fulfillment everywhere in my life? Well, I didn't know, but based on my recent results, it did not feel impossible. So I continued to consume every personal development program I could get my hands on. And I kept all my notes from those programs in a little black binder. I used that binder as a place to organize my thinking, my breakthroughs, my goals, my strategies. One page became 2, then 5, then 10, then 50. That binder became my lifeline. It would lessen my anxiety just to have it with me. Because when I started to feel weird or panicky or dark, the words inside that binder would instantly ground me. I took it everywhere I went so that I could refer to it anytime I needed it. And I started calling it my life book. At one point, I don't even remember when, I began to categorize my notes because I realized that there were certain areas of my life that just couldn't be overlooked. My health and fitness, my relationships, my spiritual life, my career and financial life. I identified the 12 most important areas of my life that I wanted to master, and I made each one of those a chapter in my life book. I got addicted to thinking about the person that I wanted to become and the life I wanted to live. And my life book just kept growing and growing and growing. Over time, I got crystal clear on what I wanted in every important area of my life, why I wanted it, and exactly what I would need to do to get it. I created a powerful vision for my life. It was like my North Star, and it guided my daily choices and actions. Every single day, I woke up and I moved with intention toward that life vision. And I did that for years in a row. And then something absolutely remarkable happened to me. One day, as I was walking through my beautiful garden, I realized the vision for the life I'd wanted had become the reality of the life I had. Now I'm going to say that again because it does not happen to many people in this life. The vision for the life that I wanted, which I defined with clarity in my life book, had become the reality of the life that I had. I had everything that I'd ever wanted. My wife and I had the most amazing love relationship I'd ever seen. A beautiful, passionate love affair. I wasn't just in good shape, I'd achieved a world-class level of health and fitness. I had a rewarding, successful career, total financial freedom. I had a fantastic relationship with every one of my kids, even my teenagers. I'd built our ultimate dream house, a beautiful, tranquil oasis that was a sanctuary from the stresses of modern life. I'd traveled the whole world with my wife and kids and our friends. We'd had extraordinary adventures together. We enjoyed world-class experiences, and we made some truly amazing memories together. But most of all, miraculously, I felt in command of myself again. I felt in control of my life again. I'd gone from being totally shut down, exhausted, confused, in total overwhelm, to building a truly extraordinary life in every important area. I mean, it really stood apart. I knew a lot of rich people, but they didn't even have close to the level of physical fitness I had. I knew some great athletes, but they didn't have near the quality relationships I had. I knew some couples who were truly in love, but many of them had a lack in their lives because they had no financial abundance. This was different. This was not normal. Something wonderful and very, very rare had happened to me. And it wasn't because I'm smarter than everyone else, or more talented, or because I work harder than everybody else. It was because I'd gotten more deeply in touch with the person that I wanted to become and the life that I wanted to live than any other human being I'd ever heard of. I had a life book. I knew exactly what I wanted in every important area of my life, why I wanted it, and exactly what I would need to do to get it. Everything in my life was aligned and going in the same direction for years in a row. That's how I built this life. There's no question about that. I built this life because I had a life book. I never showed my life book to anyone. No one except my wife Missy had ever seen inside the pages of that book that I carried with me everywhere I went for 10 years. I mean, it wasn't that it was a big secret. I just thought, who would ever want to see this? I mean, this was just my own personal tool that I used to make my own life better. But as time went by and more of our friends asked Missy and I how we'd been able to create the life that we had, I reluctantly started to show it to my friends and tell them, this is how we did it right here. Now, a few of our close friends asked us if there was any way that we could help them create a life book for themselves. And we'd never thought about that before. But we figured, why not try it? So we had them over for a long weekend, 3 couples and 1 single guy. We got out the marker board and we just dove into the 12 categories together. And the results of that first life book session were absolutely astounding. 1 marriage saved, 1 business doubled within that calendar year, and 1 life completely rebuilt from the ground up, just like I'd done with my own. Well, Missy and I immediately realized that the tool that we'd used to create our own life vision could be shared, and that was something we never expected. This was a system that anyone could apply, and it would yield predictable results. It was crystal clear to us that Lifebook could help other people do the same thing we did, clarify their life vision, and create the life of their dreams. Well, at that time, we still owned multiple businesses, and the last thing we needed or wanted was another company. We were already wealthy, and we didn't need another financial opportunity. And we were busy enough. We had 4 kids, and we certainly didn't need something new to occupy our time. But most importantly, Missy and I are really private people. And we knew that we'd have to open up our lives to a certain extent if we decided to share Lifebook with the world. And frankly, we didn't want to do that. I mean, there was nothing about that we were interested in. But what was glaringly obvious to both of us was that Lifebook was the highest value that we could offer the world, the best and highest use of us. So we talked about it from every possible angle. If we shared Lifebook, how would it affect our family life? How would it affect our love life? How would it affect the other companies that we own or our financial life? And at the end of the day, even with a tremendous amount of emotional resistance, we had to ask ourselves, how could we possibly have been gifted something this valuable and then decide not to share it with others? How would we feel at the end of our lives if we decided to keep this amazing thing that we'd been gifted to ourselves? So it wasn't an easy decision to make. But ultimately, we had no choice. I mean, we realized that we had to share Lifebook with the world. Well, if Missy and I are going to do something like that, we're the kind of people that are going to go all the way with it. So we set a goal to create the most transformative and effective personal development experience in the world. It took more than a year to complete the first iteration of the Lifebook program. We put millions of dollars into it. We created 2 absolutely gorgeous facilities, one in Chicago and one in San Diego, and we launched Lifebook to the world in 2007 with the biggest high-definition video program ever recorded behind BBC's Planet Earth. This was a luxury 5-day full immersion experience, which cost $5,000 for a single and $7,500 for a couple. And there was nothing else like it in the world. It created transformation every time for every person. Here's how some of those early Lifebookers described it.
My Lifebook experience was simply transformational.
It's just unlike anything else.
Profoundly powerful, all-encompassing.
Such a beautiful experience.
Amazing.
It's extraordinary.
Truly a remarkable experience.
Life-changing and life-altering.
The most in-depth, well-guided tour of self that you can possibly take.
What makes Lifebook so unique is that it is your life, your decisions, your path. Lifebook is designed to guide you to find the answers and the path and the strategy to get to the life you want to live.
Nowhere did I ever feel like I was being told how to live my life or what to do, and most development programs do that. This one said, how do you want to live your life and what are you going to do about it? It was all about me, and that made all the difference, because at the end of the day, I'm the only person that can motivate me to get it done.
Lifebook isn't some magical process that puts ideas in your head, but it peels away the layers so that you can really see what you really want and hold yourself accountable for getting it.
Lifebook gives you that holistic, balanced approach. It's not just about one, piece of the puzzle. It's about putting all the pieces of the puzzle together and making them fit.
I found out, my financial life is affected by my spiritual life, is affected by my health and fitness, is affected by my intellectual life, is affected by my love relationship, is affected by my parenting relationship.
I think that other personal development seminars maybe glance on a few issues. They might talk about maybe just a spiritual side. They might just talk about the parenting side or the financial side. They really don't pull everything together like Lifebook does.
In so many of the books that I've read or the audio CDs that I've listened to, they have great ideas, but you don't leave with that tool that is then that piece that helps you achieve everything you've been thinking. And so the Lifebook is that tool.
So the fact that I have a plan and I'm sticking to it and I have it in front of me and I can say 3 years from now, if I'm not living that life, I really have to ask myself why.
I know that I now have a plan for where I'm going to go, and so many people don't have a plan for where they're going to go, and I know that they're not going to get there without a plan, and I know that I am going to get there, and personally I don't want to be there by myself, so I want to bring some of my friends and family along with me.
Lifebook definitely changed my life. I saw immediate results that were almost overwhelming.
I gained inspiration from it, but I gained something also that I could take away and leverage every single day for the rest of my life.
My favorite aspect of Lifebook is, waking up every day now, living the life that I intend to live and want to live, and that makes me very happy.
I have vision. I have a path. I know where I'm going to go. And listen to that statement. I know where I'm going to go. Not where I can go, where I'm going to go. That's, I think, that says it all right there.
We saw consistent transformation in literally every important area of life. And after working with thousands of people, we identified the root cause of almost every problem that people are going to encounter in their lives, which was the exact same problem that I had when I started out. No clear life vision. We found that when it came to living their lives, most people have no destination in mind at all. They don't know which way to go because they don't know where they're going. They don't know what to do because they don't know where they want to end up. And as a result, they just wander aimlessly through their lives, floating like a piece of driftwood wherever the tide of life happens to take them. They don't envision their future with the sense that they can influence it. They don't see themselves in the driver's seat, in control of their own lives. Instead, they react to life. They let life happen to them, living their lives on autopilot. They've given control of their lives to other forces, other people, the company they work for, the school they go to. This was absolutely consistent. They were in the passenger seat of their lives, not the driver's seat. They had no sense of what their life was about, no sense of their own identity. Again, no life vision. Now, some people who came to Lifebook knew what they wanted in a few key areas of life. I want to make $100,000 this year. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to find my ideal life partner. But clarity on what they wanted across all 12 categories of life, we literally never saw that one time. Well, how can you possibly expect to get what you want out of life if you don't know with clarity what it is you want? Our years of research and experience demonstrate one simple fact above all others. Without a clear life vision, an extraordinary life, as we define it, is totally and completely impossible for you. A clear life vision doesn't just make it easier to achieve your very best life, doesn't simply help it happen faster. Your life vision is what makes your extraordinary life possible in the first place. It's the essential, non-negotiable foundation of the life that you've always wanted to live. That is what we help people define and put in place during the course of the Lifebook program. And we did that by helping people get clear on what they wanted in every important area of life, one category at a time. So let's take a deeper look at the 12 categories now. The first section of Lifebook is called Your Personal Life, and it contains 5 of the 12 categories. Your personal life can be defined as you separate from the rest of the world, because these 5 categories don't depend on anyone but you. Here's what they are. The first category we explore is your health and fitness. Now, this category is about your physical body, inside and out. Next is your intellectual life, which is about your mind, intelligence, mental clarity, and thinking. Next, we take a look at your emotional life. This category is about your feelings, what they are, where they come from, and why they're so important. Then we explore your character. This category is about your inner nature, who you are as a person, what you're all about as a human being. And finally, your spiritual life. This category addresses the deep questions like, why am I here? What do I believe about the universe and my place in it? What is the purpose of my life? Your personal life categories are absolutely foundational because everything else in your life is built on top of them. They're going to determine the quality of your relationships, your career success, your financial abundance, and everything else in your life. The second section of Lifebook is about your relationships with the most important people in your life. And we look at 3 different types of relationships on your Lifebook journey. The first is your love life, which addresses your relationship with your spouse or your life partner. Next, we look at parenting, which is about your relationship with your children. And finally, your social life, which explores your relationships with your friends and your extended family. As we all know, the quality of your relationships are going to have a profound impact on your overall quality of life. So we go really deep here. The third section of Lifebook focuses on your business life, and it contains 2 categories. The first is your financial life. And here we'll explore what money is, how wealth is created, and what you need to do to create true financial abundance for yourself. Lifebookers tell us consistently that this is one of the most profound and valuable Lifebook categories of all. Huge breakthroughs happen here for almost everyone. Next is your career, and we do a deep dive on your occupation in this category. We're going to think about how to take it to the next level, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, a plumber, an executive, or a Fortune 500 CEO. Now, the career and financial categories are obviously deeply connected, but they've got to be thought about separately. Because you can have a great career and a completely disastrous financial life, or vice versa. And that's not what we want. We want to excel in both areas, so they've got to have a separate strategy. The 11th category of Lifebook is called your quality of life. And it's here that we focus on the things that you want, the experiences that you want in your life, the fun and adventure that you want to create for yourself. So this is where your dream house lives, your summer cottage, your boat, your cars, exotic travel, or whatever quality of life happens to mean for you. The last category of Lifebook is where everything comes together. It's called your life vision, and it's a vivid description of your future. The question we ask here as we reach the end of the program is, if all the desires that I just defined in my Lifebook were to become a reality in every category, what would that look like 5 years from now? Your life vision is ultimately what the Lifebook program is all about. It's the active ingredient that creates the transformation, because that's what most people are missing. And it's at the root of almost every problem they're going to encounter in life. The Lifebook program helps you create a crystal clear vision for your ideal life. That's the active ingredient. That is what creates transformation. We do that by asking ourselves 4 critical questions in each category. What are the beliefs that control my behavior in this area of my life? What precisely, with clarity, do I want in this area of my life? Why do I want that? And what do I need to do to get it? Well, it turns out that these are the great questions of life. These questions summon the real you from deep within. They call on you to think through what needs to be considered, to clarify what's unclear, to address what needs to be addressed in your life, and to achieve what lies ahead of you to achieve. And here is the single most important thing that we've learned after more than 20 years of doing this work. The answers to those questions are going to be different for every single person. There is simply no one-size-fits-all solution in any area of life. Why? Because we're all different. And the recipe for happiness, success, balance, and fulfillment is different for every single one of us. There is no one right diet for all of the billions of people on this planet, despite what health experts say. There is no one right love relationship strategy. There is no one key to a successful career. There is no more one formula for happiness than there is one right answer for every math problem or one medicine for every illness, because we're all different. We all have different preferences, different instincts, different genetics, different talents, different needs, different desires, and the road to the fulfillment of those desires is different for every single one of us. And that's what makes Lifebook different in kind than any other seminar or coaching system or personal development program that you've ever encountered. Lifebook is the one personal development experience that's all about you. Yes, we're going to provide thought-provoking perspectives on your journey. Yes, we're going to motivate you. We're going to inspire you. We're going to stimulate your thinking. But make no mistake about it, you are the author of your Lifebook. It's based entirely on your individual beliefs, your goals, your needs, your motivations, because only you can define your life vision. We simply give you the powerful framework and the guidance that you need to make it happen. Every single day that you spend in the Lifebook program, your life vision will become more clear and vibrant, just like mine did. Little by little, your blank pages will be filled with your deepest thoughts, your deepest desires and aspirations. As you define your extraordinary life one step at a time, your insights will grow, your personal breakthroughs will build on one another, and your Lifebook will take shape. Now, the result of most personal development programs is a pad full of notes and some good intentions. But the result of the Lifebook program is something unique, something tangible and concrete. It's one of the most powerful personal development tools you could ever own, your own personal Lifebook. Every dream, every desire, every goal, everything that you've ever wanted to be or do will be captured and organized in the pages of that book. Authored by you and for you, your Lifebook will contain something immensely valuable that very, very few people will ever possess: a crystal clear vision of the person that you intend to become and the extraordinary life that you intend to create. And the thinking that goes into it will transform your life forever. So Missy and I had accomplished a huge goal. We had created the best, most effective personal development program in the world, and we had the empirical data to prove it with the Lifebook assessment. But still, one big challenge remained. When we first started out, we defined our mission as 1 million people with a Lifebook. And there was simply no way that we were going to achieve that mission with a $5,000 program. There was no way that 1 million people were going to fly to Chicago, take a whole week out of their lives, pay $5,000 and experience this program. And honestly, we did not know how to solve that. Well, all that changed when a man who would eventually become one of our dearest friends, Vishen Lakhiani, founder of Mindvalley, heard about Lifebook. He heard the buzz, he saw the testimonials, and he wanted to know if this program would be as transformational for him as it had been for others. And there's only one way to know for sure, right? Try it and find out. And that's exactly what he did. Here's what he had to say.
So in 2010, my then partner dragged me to a Lifebook seminar because I was going through a really crazy time in my life. I was trying to get a startup off the ground, and we'd raised about $2 million for the startup. We had investors breathing down our neck. I was not enjoying what I was doing, and I realized I'd signed up for something that I did because I wanted to prove myself to the world, but it wasn't where my heart was. And after 6 months of just dreading going to work, I was sinking into a depression. I didn't like my life, I didn't like my job, I didn't like the mission, but my hands were tied. I didn't know what to do. And it was in this environment that my then partner dragged me to Lifebook in Chicago. I remember back then the seminar was a live event. It was about $5,000 for an individual. We paid $7,500 for two of us. And what happened is, over the next 4 days in this Chicago retreat, we created a Lifebook. And I was thinking about areas of my life that I'd always ignored. I'd always been obsessed with career and money. But I'd never really thought about how I wanted my ability as a parent to show up. I'd never thought about my quality of life. I'd never thought about my health and fitness. I'd never thought about my growth, my intellectual life. And I want to share with you one of the magical things that happened, but it was disruptive. I wasn't expecting it, but Lifebook would yank me out of my career and company at that time and put me into a future that I never imagined. So this is what ultimately happened, right? We're so used to manifesting our goals specifically. But what I realized is that sometimes the universe has something even bigger for you than what you can actually imagine. So at Lifebook, of the 12 categories, the category that was most interesting to me was quality of life, because my quality of life sucked. It absolutely freaking sucked. We were staying in a tiny apartment. We were trying to make ends meet. I just recently become a father. My kid was about 2 years old, and I wasn't happy. And I didn't know what I wanted in terms of my quality of life. So this is what I put down, okay, in my Lifebook. I put down things such as, I want to visit 100 countries around the world. I wrote down, I wanted to have access to some of the most influential minds in business and Hollywood and the arts. I wrote, I want to be one of the world's top speakers. At that point, I was not speaking on stage. I wrote, I want to be able to go on adventure trips with brilliant people, stay in 5-star resorts by the beach. I wrote, I want to have amazing travel adventures. And I wrote down these interesting things: parties in the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and more. I wrote, I want to be an online star in personal growth. And I wrote, I want to win an Emmy, Grammy, or Academy Award. Crazy goals, right? Now, what happened is, within a few months of taking Lifebook, I had a crazy idea. I decided to start a festival. I don't know where that idea came from, but I was running a blog at that time, a blog called Finer Minds, and I put out in a post to my blog audience and I said, hey, I really want to get 250 people together in Costa Rica, get some amazing speakers, have some amazing evening events and parties, really connect with my audience. What do you say? And it was a crazy idea. It came from my soul. I don't even know where it came from because it made no business logic. But what happened is that festival sold out. 250 tickets were sold. We didn't even have a name for it, so we called it Awesomeness Fest. And I took Lifebook around April or May 2010. This festival emerged December 2010. So it was around 8 months. And I didn't know it then, but this festival would shape my destiny. Awesomeness Fest became a thing, and it's now 12 years, and it's continuing to grow. Today, Awesomeness Fest is now called A-Fest. It's a major global festival. And here's the crazy part. When I went to A-Fest, Awesomeness Fest, my investors called me up and said, hey, you have this company. You need to get this done, and you're starting a frickin' festival? And I told them, look, I know it sounds bad, but take back my shares. I'm out of this. I don't feel right doing what I thought I needed to do, but I feel right here in Costa Rica. I feel right doing this festival. And they were pissed off, but they gave me that freedom. I gave up hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy my freedom. But here's what happened next. That company, the shares I gave up, ended up tanking. But A-Fest, this festival, this idea that came from my soul because of what I put down on my Lifebook, became a major event. It led to the company Mindvalley taking off. And that company, Mindvalley, today does over 100 million in revenue. A-Fest is a major event, but here's what happened. Look at all the stuff I put down in my quality of life. Visit hundreds of countries. Because of A-Fest, I've been able to visit close to 18 countries because it takes place in a different country every few years. I got access to all of these amazing speakers. I became a speaker because I was speaking on my own stage. I got to stay in 5-star luxury resorts around the world, and the hotels would give me the presidential suite because I was bringing them so many customers. I got to go on these amazing travel adventures, and AFES holds these incredible parties. And what I put down, partying in the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and more, all of that happened. We had a party in the Mediterranean at the castle where Game of Thrones was filmed. We had a party in the Caribbean in a private island. And I became an online star in personal growth because the Mindvalley Talks channel, which came out of AFES, received over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And if you think that's not crazy, here's what happened next. This is where it gets insane. A director by the name of Nick Nanton showed up at AFES in 2015 and decided to make a documentary film about what he experienced. That documentary went on to win an Emmy, and I was a producer of that documentary. So I got my Emmy. How insane is that? The thing is, when I was writing down these items in my life book, I had no idea how to pull off all of these items. See, it's right here, but the universe had other plans. And what I learned from this experience is that sometimes you got to know what you want and why you want it. You don't have to worry about the how, the when, or the who. If you can obsess over what and why, intuition, coincidence, synchronicity can come together and unveil a future for you that you never would have predicted for yourself. And that is why I fell in love with Lifebook. I brought it to my company. We have 450 employees. All of them get comped to do Lifebook. It's been revolutionary for my life. And years later, around 7 years after this experience, I went to John and Missy Butcher and I said, hey, I want to make this go bigger. Can we bring Lifebook onto Mindvalley? And so we worked together from 2017 to 2022, and Lifebook blew up. We trained 70,000 people. And recently I feel really blessed because John and Missy invited me to be a co-founder of Lifebook and to use my computer engineering background to help develop the program even further. Lifebook has given me a life I never would have dreamed possible. And the thing is, all of us have this. There is nothing unique about me or special about me. I just got clear in what I wanted. That anybody can do this. We're all made of the same stuff. We all have the same essence of the universe flowing through us. We all have these same abilities. It's just about getting really clear in terms of what you want.
So Vishen and I put our heads together and we thought deeply about what we would need to do to make Lifebook accessible and affordable and get it out to 1 million people. Well, after a lot of thought and research and planning, we created Lifebook Online. It's the exact same content as our $5,000 seminar, but instead of happening over 5 full days, it's spread out over 6 weeks, 2 categories per week. And best of all, the course was no longer $5,000. So we launched Lifebook Online in late 2016 and it broke every record. It became Mindvalley's best-selling course with over 70,000 Lifebookers in more than 80 countries. Lifebook Online is now in 11 languages and has over 2,000 Lifebook stories online. But I'll tell you, my favorite thing of all was something that we never anticipated. The Lifebook Tribe was born. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. A global community of like-minded people who know who they are and who know what they're all about at a deep level. These people know with clarity what they want out of life and why and what they need to do to get it. An entire community of people like that. Well, when we brought these rare people together, something magical happened. They began supporting each other, they began encouraging and inspiring each other on their way to achieving the life of their dreams, creating meetups all over the world, helping one another level up, forging lifelong friendships and partnerships. And this became a huge value for Lifebookers because some of these people felt very, very alone before, but they found a place to belong in the Lifebook Tribe. They finally found their people. As you might imagine, this is one of the coolest online communities on earth with people doing work like that. So we removed the distance problem. You can do this course in the privacy of your own home anywhere in the world. We removed the time problem. You don't have to string together 5 straight days. You can experience Lifebook in a couple hours a week over a 6-week period. And our mission is 1 million people with a Lifebook. And we are absolutely serious about that. We believe that could change the world. 1 million like-minded people making the world a better place by making their own lives better. That's exactly what the world needs right now. Here's how you can join Lifebook right now. Just click on the link below this video enter your regular details into our secure checkout, and as soon as you do, you'll be part of the Lifebook family. Within a minute, you'll get an email with your login instructions. At the beginning of this video, I said I was going to give you a key to get in control of your life and gain clarity like you've never had before. And here's what it is. The key is that there is no key out there. There is no universal magic formula for happiness and success and balance and fulfillment. The key is in here. And that's why you've never been able to find it, no matter how hard you've searched out there, because it isn't out there in the world, it's inside you. Your life is yours. You own it, whether it feels like it or not. Whether you choose to exercise that ownership or not, you are the primary creative force. You are the responsible party, the decision maker at the center of your own existence. Yes, there is a magic formula for your very best life, but that formula is going to be unique to you, which is why it's never going to come from a book. It's never going to come from an audio program or a seminar. If you ever discover it, it's going to come from inside you, not from someone else. There is no knight in shining armor coming to your rescue. No one is coming to make your life right. No one is coming to solve your problems. No guru, no teacher, no philosopher knows the secret combination to your safe. You're the one that has to find it. You're the one that has to work for it. You're the one that has to earn it. And that's what we were born to do. I mean, deep down, that's what we all want, all of us. Young and old, male and female, rich and poor, no matter where you are in the world, we all have a deep need to exercise control over our existence, to make our world the way we think it should be, and our lives the way we want to truly live. But look, there are two types of people in this world. People who are not willing to do anything to make their lives better, people who let life happen to them, with no sense of control over themselves or their life, no sense that they can create their own destiny. And these are the people who are going to get to the end of their lives and be filled with regrets about how they lived, because they will know that they could have been more and they should have been more. But their life, their one precious life, wasn't important enough for them to put in the time and the effort to make it happen. And then there are the people like me and like our 70,000 life bookers, and if you're still here, probably like you. People who know that something more is possible for them, that they have more potential, that they could have it all in life, and they're not willing to settle for anything less. Now, if you're one of those people, I want you to know there's absolutely no reason that you can't achieve the life that you've always wanted. There is no reason that you can't achieve the level of health and fitness, the level of financial success, the quality love relationship, the career success, the spiritual fulfillment that you've always been after. You don't need a magic pill. You don't need a miracle diet or any other fantastical gimmick. You don't need a guru to follow. You simply need to stand on your own 2 feet, to trust your own judgment and your own intelligence, to become the primary driving force behind every goal, every vision, every desire in your life book, and then go out there and create it. There is no higher purpose in life than that. There's no greater cause that you could commit yourself to than to take this one life that you've been given, this short time that you have on this planet, and make it the best you can possibly make it. To pour yourself into your life, to give everything that you have to it, and to get everything that you can from it. It's your one job. Either we're waking up and we're doing that every day, or we're not. And one day, if you're like me and thousands of other people who've been through this program, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna realize that you've crossed an important threshold and you've actually got your life figured out and working well in every important area. No more longing, no more lack. Stress has been replaced with fulfillment. Urgency has been replaced with a little bit of leisure time. Your life has become extraordinary, and you're growing and expanding from there. So get into a state of total positive expectation, because something amazing is about to happen to you. I want you to set your expectations for this program as high as you possibly can, and then double them Expect massive breakthrough. Expect your life to radically transform for the better and faster than you ever dreamed possible. I'm telling you right now, you're a powerful being, much more powerful than you know. You can have just about anything you want out of life, anything you want, if you just get crystal clear on what that is and commit yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to its attainment. If you take the time to define your life vision and then align yourself with that vision, focus your powers, get everything in your life going in the same direction, you can make it a reality. You can find your happiness and your fulfillment. You can have the life that you really want. Click the link below, sign up for this program while this offer is still available, and become a Life Booker today. My name is John Butcher, and I'll see you there.